NEET Biology diagram based practice question 8. Question number 1. The following two plants exhibit shown in the diagram bougainvillea and cucurbita. Homology indicates common ancestry. Other examples are vertebrae, heart or brain. In plants also, the thorn and tendrils of bougainvillea and cucurbita represent homology. Homology is based on divergent evolution, whereas analogy refers to a situation exactly opposite. Wings of butterfly and of birds look alike. They are not anatomically similar structure, though they perform similar function. Hence, analogous structure are a result of convergent evolution, different structure evolving for the same function and hence having similarity. So the correct answer option D, thorn and bougainvillea and cucurbita are homologous. Question number 2. In the apparatus of Urey and Miller experiment, the gases, that is capital G, contained in the flask are shown in the diagram, diagrammatic representation of Miller experiments. Oparin of Russia and Chladni of England proposed that the best form of life could have come from free exciting non-living organic molecule, example RNA and protein, etc. And the formation of life was preceded by chemical evolution, that is formation of diverse organic molecules from inorganic constituents. The condition on earth were high temperature, volcanic storm, reducing atmosphere containing methane, ammonia, etc. In 1953, S. L. Miller, an American scientist, created similar condition in a laboratory scale. He created electric discharge in a closed flask containing methane, hydrogen, ammonia and water vapor at 800 degrees Celsius. He observed formation of amino acid. In similar experiments, other observed formation of sugar, nitrogen bases, pigment and fats. They would have been giant molecules, that is RNA, protein, polysaccharide, etc. These capsules reproduce their molecules further. The best cellular form of life did not possibly originate till about 2000 million years ago. These were probably single cell. All life forms were in water environment only. This version of a biogenesis, the best form of life, arose slowly through evolutionary forces from non-living molecules is accepted by majority. So the correct answer option C. C is methane, hydrogen cyanide, hydrogen and water vapor. Question number 3. Which of the following cannot be infrared from the information given in the following diagram? Shown the diagram, schematic representation of DNA fingerprinting. Few representative chromosomes have been shown to contain different copy number of VNTR, that is variable number of tandem repeats. For the sake of understanding, different color schemes have been used to trace the origin of each band in the gel. The two alleles, either paternal and maternal, of a chromosome also contain different copy numbers of VNTR. It is clear that the binding pattern of DNA from crime scene matches with the individual B and not with A. So the DNA fingerprinting involves identifying differences in some specific regions in DNA sequence that are called repetitive DNA. Because in these sequences, a small scratch in DNA is repeated many times. These repetitive DNA are separated from bulk genomic DNA as different peaks during density gradient configuration. The bulk DNA forms a major peak and the other small peak are referred to as satellite DNA. As polymorphism in DNA sequence is the basis of genetic mapping of human genome as well as DNA fingerprinting, it is essential that we understand what DNA polymorphism means in simple terms. Polymorphism, that is variation at a genetic level, arises due to mutations. In simple terms, if an incorrectable mutation is observed in a population at high frequency, it is referred to as an DNA polymorphism. The probability of such variation to be observed in non-coding DNA sequence would be higher as mutation in the sequences may not have any immediate effect or impact in an individual reproductive ability. The technique of DNA fingerprinting was initially developed by Alex Jeffries. He used a satellite DNA as probe that shows very high degree of polymorphism. It was called as a variable number of tandem repeats, that is VNTR. The technique as used earlier involved southern plot hybridization using radio labeled VNTR as a probe. It included number 1 isolation of DNA, number 2 digestion of DNA by restriction endonucleases, number 3 separation of DNA fragments by electrophoresis, number 4 transferring of separated DNA fragments to synthetic membranes such as nitrocellulose or nylon that are called plotting method. Number 5 hybridization using labeled VNTR probe. Number 6 detection of hybridized DNA fragments by autoradiography. So the correct answer option D. D is the smaller chromosome in the human genome have smaller repeats of VNTR. Question number 4. Consider the following diagram showing the working of the lac operon in Escherichia coli in the presence of inducer and choose the correct statement from the ones given below. Shown the diagram, the lac operon. The lac operon was also a result of a close association between a geneticist Franciscus Jacob and a biochemist Jacob Monod. They were bust to transcriptionally regulated system. The lac operon, here lac refers to lactose, a polycistronic structural gene is regulated by a common promoter and regulatory genes. Such arrangement is very common in bacteria and referred to as operon. The name few such example: lac operon, TRP operon, trip operon, ARA operon, KISS operon, HIS KISS operon, VAL wall operon, etc. The lac operon consists of one regulatory gene, that is the I gene. Here the term I does not refer to inducer, rather it is derived from the word inhibitor, and the three structural gene, namely Z2, Y and A. The I gene code for repressor of the lac operon. The Z gene code for beta galactosidase, that is beta gal, which is primarily responsible for the hydrolysis of the disaccharide lactose into monomeric units galactose and glucose. The Y gene code for permease, which increases permeability of the cell to beta galactosidases. The A gene encodes a transacetylase. Hence, all the three gene products in lac operon are required for metabolism of lactose. In most of the operons, as well as the genes present in the operon, are needed together to function in the same or related metabolic pathway. Lactose is a substrate for the enzyme beta galactosidase, and it regulates switching on and off the operon. Hence is termed as the inducer. In the absence of prepared carbon source such as glucose, if lactose is provided in the growth medium of the bacteria, the lactose is transported into the cell through the action of permease. The repressor of the operon is synthesized from the I gene. The repressor protein binds to the operator region of the operon and prevents RNA polymerase from transcribing the operon. In the presence of an inducer, such as lactose or allolactose, the repressor is inactivated by interaction with the inducer. This allows RNA polymerase access to the promoter and transcription proceeds. Essentially, regulation of lac operon can also be visualized as regulation of enzyme synthesis by its substrate. So, the regulation of lac operon by repressor is referred to as negative regulation. Lac operon is under control, a positive regulation as well, but it is beyond the scope of discussion at this level. So, the correct answer, option C, the inducer is lactose or allolactose, B is beta galactosidase, and metabolites lactose, some permease will be present, otherwise permease will not be able to enter the cell. Transacetylase is D, and its junction is not exactly known. So the A is inducer, B is beta galactosidase, C is permease, D is transacetylase. Question number 5. Study the diagram given below and choose the correct information that can be deduced. Shown in the diagram, process of transcription in bacteria. In bacteria, there are three major types of RNAs. mRNA, that is messenger RNA, tRNA, that is transfer RNA, and rRNA, that is ribosomal RNA. All three RNAs are needed to synthesize a protein in a cell. The mRNA provides the template, tRNA brings amino acids and reads the genetic code, and rRNA play structural and catalytic role during translation. There is single DNA dependent RNA polymerase that catalyzes the transcription of all type of RNA in bacteria. RNA polymerase binds to promoter and initiate transcription, that is called initiation. It uses nucleoside triphosphate as substrate and polymerases in a template dependent fashion following the rule of complementarity. It is somehow also facilitate opening of the helix and continuous elongation. Only a short stretch of RNA remains bound to the enzyme. Once the polymerase reaches the terminator region, the nascent RNA falls off. So also the RNA polymerase. This results in termination of transcription. An intriguing question is that how is the RNA polymerase able to catalyze all the three steps, which are initiation, elongation, and termination. The RNA polymerase is only capable of catalyzing the process of elongation. It associates transitionally with initiation factor and termination factor to initiate and terminate the transcription respectively. Association with this factor alter the specificity of the RNA polymerase to either initiate or terminate. In bacteria, since the mRNA does not require any processing to become active, and also since transcription and translation take place in the same compartment, that is, there is no separation of cytosol and nucleus in bacteria. In many times, translation can begin which much before the mRNA is fully transcribed. Consequently, the transcription and translation can be coupled in bacteria. So the correct answer option A, as can be seen, the RNA polymerase is not associated with sigma and RHO factors during elongation. Question number 6. Consider the transcription unit given in the following diagram and choose the correct statements. Statement 1. The promoter on the promoter is situated upstream and 5' to the structural gene. Statement 2. It is the presence of the structural gene that defines the template strand. Statement 3. The coding strand does not code for anything and is displaced during transcription. Shown in the diagram, schematic structure of a transcription unit. A transcription unit in DNA defined primarily by the three regions in DNA: a promoter, the structural gene, and a terminator. There is a convention in defining the two strands of the DNA in the structural gene of a transcription unit. Since the two strands have opposite polarity and the DNA dependent RNA polymerase also catalyze the polymerization in only one direction, that is 5' to 3'. The strand that has polarity 3' to 5' act as a template and is also referred to as template strand. In other strand which has the polarity 5' to 3' and the sequence same as RNA except thymine at the place of uracil is displaced during transcription. The strand that is which code not code for anything is referred to as coding strand. All the reference point while defining the transcription unit is made with the coding strand. The promoter and terminator belong the structural gene in a transcription unit. The promoter is said to be located towards 5' end, that is upstream of the structural gene, that is the reference is made with respect to the polarity of coding strand. It is a DNA sequence that provide binding site of RNA polymerase, and it is the presence of promoter in transcription unit that also defines the template and coding strand. By switching its position with the terminator, the definition of coding and template strand could be reversed. The terminator is located towards 3' end, that is downstream of the coding strand, and is usually defines the end of the process of transcription. There are additional regulatory sequences that may be present further upstream or downstream to the promoter. Some of the properties of this sequence shall be discussed while dealing with regulation of gene expression. So the correct answer option A, statement 1 and 2 only correct. Question number 7. Study the results of the Michelson and Southall experiment. What theoretically possible mode of DNA replication can be excluded after its round of replication? Shown in the diagram, Michelson and Southall experiment. It is now proven that DNA replicates semi-conservatively. It was shown best in the Escherichia coli and subsequently in higher organisms such as plants and human cell. Matthew Michelson and Franklin Southall performed the following experiment in 1958. Step number 1. They grew Escherichia coli in a medium containing NH4Cl15. N15 is the heavy isotope of nitrogen as the only nitrogen source for many generations. The result was that N15 was incorporated into newly synthesized DNA as well as other nitrogen containing compounds. This heavy DNA molecule could be distinguished from the normal DNA by centrifugation in a cesium chloride, that is CaCl density gradient. Step number 2. Then they transport the cell into the medium with a normal NH4Cl, that is N14, and took samples at various definite time intervals as the cells multiplied and extracted the DNA that remained as double-stranded helices. The various samples were separated independently cesium chloride gradient to measure the density of DNA. Step number 3. Thus the DNA that was extracted from the culture one generation after the transfer from N15 to N14 medium, that is after 20 minutes, Escherichia coli divides in 20 minutes, had a hybrid or intermediate density. DNA extracted from the culture after another generation, that is that after 40 minutes, second generation, was composed of equal amount of hybrid DNA and of light DNA. So the correct answer option A. If the made were conservative, two burnt, one 14 by 14 and another 15 by 15 would have been visible. Question number 8. Which keystone is represented by the letter X in the given diagram? Shown in the diagram, nucleosome. In eukaryotes, this organization is much more complex. There is a set of positively charged basic proteins called histones. A protein acquires charge depending upon the abundance of amino acid residues with the charged side chains. Histones are rich in the basic amino acid residues lysine and arginines. Both the amino acid residues carry positive charge in the side chain. Histones are organized to form unit of 8 molecules called histone octamer. The negatively charged DNA is wrapped around positively charged histone octamer to form a structure called nucleosome. A typical nucleosome contains 200 base pair of DNA helix. Nucleosome constitute the repeating unit of a structure on nucleus is called chromatin. Chromatin is a thread-like strand, that is color bodies seen in the nucleus. The nucleosome in chromatin as seen in bead-on string structure when viewed under electron microscope. The bead-on string structure in chromatin is packaged to form chromatin fibers that are further coiled and condensed at metaphase stage of cell division to form chromosomes. The packaging of chromatin at a higher level requires additional set of protein that collectively are referred to as non-histone chromosomal protein, that is NHC. In a typical nucleus, some regions of chromatin are loosely packed, that is, and stains light, and are referred to as a euchromatin. The chromatin that is more densely packed and stains dark is called heterochromatin. So the euchromatin is said to be transcriptionally active chromatin, whereas heterochromatin is inactive. So the correct answer option A, X is H1 histone. Question number 9. Which of the following would not be a feature seen in a patient with the following karyotype? Shown in the diagram, a representative figure showing an individual inflicted with Down syndrome and the corresponding chromosome of the individuals. Down syndrome means the cause of the genetic disorders is the presence of an additional copy of the chromosome number 21, that is trisomy of 21. This disorder was first described by Langdon Down in the year 1866. The affected individual is short, statured with small round head, furrowed tongue, and partially open mouth. Palm is broad with characteristics palm grease. Physical, psychomotor, and mental development is retarded. So the correct answer option D. D is mucus clogging of airways. The karyotype here is of Down syndrome. Mucus clogging is seen in cystic fibrosis. Question number 10. Given below are the initial amino acids of the beta chain of a hemoglobin molecule. What will be true about this hemoglobin molecule? Shown in the diagram, micrograph of the red blood cell and the amino acid composition of the relevant portion of beta chain of hemoglobin. This diagram shown from a normal individual diagram. Normal individual of hemoglobin, normal HbA gene, GAG and CTC. To carry the mRNA, GAG. The amino acid, number 1 VAL, number 2 HIS, number 3 LEU, number 4 THR, number 5 PRO, number 6 GLU, number 7 GLU. So the correct answer option D. D is normal beta chain of the hemoglobin molecule.